Thank you for joining me this evening. Tonight, I just wanted to share my personal book collection with you. And it is just a small portion of the books that I have. It's going to be a mixture of books that I've already read, books that I'm currently reading, and books that I am planning to read in the near future. So please let me know in the comments if you also have read any of these books as well. And if you have any suggestions that you think I may like in similarity to these few books. So let's get started. Okay, so first, I am going to share the books that I have started but have not yet finished. So I'm gonna start with the first one, which is definitely a book outside of my normal realm. And this was a suggestion that I saw on Instagram, and it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the thing with this book is it is very informative, and I did enjoy it. You can see I got about halfway through. And I personally am not super good with finances, so this was very helpful in that sense. But the reason that I put this book down was because I felt that it started getting very repetitive, and there wasn't really much of a storyline. A little bit of backstory here and there, but this book is not like a novel, or it's not telling a story that really engages or captures you. So I feel like that's why I started to lose interest a little bit. And again, because of the repetitiveness, there's like some lists, there's some charts and graphs. I even did a little highlighting. So yeah, just a different style of book for me, but I did like what I read. Next is a book that is a little similar in the sense that it's a little bit of a how-to book as well. This one was a little more interesting though. It's called Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Foer. I think that's how you pronounce it. But this one is all about the art and science of remembering everything. Which, who doesn't need help with that? I feel like I have a really bad memory, so I thought this would be a good book to read. It is a little bit of a storytelling in the perspective of the author. It's sort of his experience, and again, very interesting, but I did put it down not even halfway through. It's just a very slow pace kind of book, so I felt like I started to get bored, and I felt like I wasn't learning a lot of tricks or techniques to improve my memory, which is sort of what I was looking for in this book. So there could still be some of that further in, and I do plan on picking both of these books back up again and finishing them at some point. So the next book that I did not finish is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. This style of book is more in my favorites, but this is the second book in a series, and I read the first one, which is It Ends With Us, rather quickly, and I did like it, but this one was not as compelling. I made it more than halfway, but the storyline was just not pulling me in, so that's why I have not finished this one yet. I know there's a lot of opinions on Colleen Hoover stories, so I feel like you either love or strongly dislike her books, and that's totally fine. But yeah, let me know if you have read these, if you feel the same way, and hopefully I can get through the end of this one as well. Next, I'm just going to show you the books that I have completed, the most recently at least. First, I have this trilogy, and this is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is actually the first one of the series, just titled The Housemaid. And these are sort of thriller, mystery type of stories, suspense, and some romance, of course. The second one is The Housemaid's Secret. And the third is The Housemaid is Watching. And I feel like someone told me recently that there is a fourth book in the series, but I am not sure. So let me know in the comments if you have read these, and if you know if there is another book in this series. These I definitely recommend. They were very captivating, and I read these very quickly. I love a book that really sucks you in and you can't put it down. That's my favorite. Before those, I read this book called Verity. which is also Colleen Hoover. And this one, though, from what I've been told, because I have not read a lot of her stories, only this one, and it ends with us and it starts with us. But this one's very different from those. It's a little more dark and mysterious. That seems to be my personal favorite right now, or up until recently. So this one I very, very much recommend. Another storyline that just keeps you on the edge of your seat and wanting to know more. But yeah, so this one is very good, and I think they're making a movie about it, I believe. So I'm excited to see that, if that's true. And next I am going to show you, I just have one book here that I have not started yet, and that is The Silent Patient. I believe they made a movie about this as well. And I've actually had this book on my bookshelf for a few years now, but I just have not had the chance to start it yet. I did hear it's very good. It was recommended to me by a friend, and she also recommended the Verity book as well, so I think I will like this if it is similar. But I know it's very popular, so let me know if you've read this and what your thoughts are. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to show you my new obsession. So, I never thought I would be interested in this particular genre. And it is fantasy romance. So, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And basically, a friend of mine thought that I would like this, and mostly because she said she knows that I like books that are in a series, which I do. And I typically lean towards trendy books. Like growing up, I read Twilight and The Hunger Games and, Harry Potter. So those were her reasonings why I would like it, and the romance, of course. But when she started mentioning wolves and fairies, I was a little unsure. Although I do enjoy TV shows and movies that have fantasy things, again, like Harry Potter, or the show Once Upon a Time. So I was like, okay, let me give this a try since you are really recommending it. And then of course I became obsessed, and it's all over my social media feeds now. I feel like it's very popular. but I also know people that have never heard of it when I tell them about it. So maybe it's just popular in my own little bubble, but I definitely recommend it. If it seems different to you, you might still enjoy it. So that's how it was for me. So this is the first book of a series of 5, and the cool thing is the author just announced recently that she's adding 2 more books to the end of this series, making it a series of 7. So they come out in October. So my goal right now is to finish this by then, which I think I will. Out of the 5 books, I am currently on book 3, which I will show you. So again, this is book 1. The next book is A Court of Mist and Fury. A little bit larger than the first book. I think it's about 600 pages. My youngest daughter put a little sticker on here for me. But finished this one. So far, this one's my favorite. And currently I am on A Court of Wings and Ruins. So this is the 3rd book. And I'm a little more than halfway through. And I am really enjoying this one as well. It is a little bit different than the first and second one, but not in a bad way. Not as much romance in this one, I would say, but still very good. And then I have the 4th book, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight. And this one is the smallest of the series. It's about 233 pages. My oldest daughter, Kayla, got me this for Mother's Day. So I have it when I finish the 3rd one. And the 5th one is called A Court of Silver Flames, I believe. And I do not yet have that one. Yes, A Court of Silver Flames. So that's the last one in the series. I believe its book color is like a bright orange, and it's a larger book, more closer to this size. So that is what I'm most excited about right now. However, this author, Sarah J. Maas, has 2 other fantasy series, and they are, from what I understand, sort of all connected in the same world. And one of them is called, it's a trilogy, and it's the Crescent City trilogy, which I do not yet have. But the other series is the Throne of Glass series, which is a set of 8 books. And my wonderful husband just happened to buy me the whole series the other day out of the kindness of his heart. I told him that from what I read, that this should be the next series read after the Court of Thorns and Roses. You're supposed to read this and then the Crescent City trilogy. And we went to the bookstore and I was just looking in the section. I was just sort of seeing if I could get the first book of the series. Just to see how much it was, if I wanted to just kind of have it on reserve for when I finish the series. And he saw this whole box set there and it was on sale, so he insisted that I have the whole series, which was so sweet and just really warmed my heart. So this set starts at the bottom, and the first book being The Assassin's Blade, which I'm told is a prequel to the series, and that it actually came out later on, I think after like the third or fourth book. But the first book that was written of this series is Throne of Glass, and then Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and lastly is Kingdom of Ash. So, let me know if you've read any of these as well. I am very excited to begin that series, and of course the Crescent City after those. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read all of these books. But for now, I am just focusing on the current book that I'm reading, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is my go-to book right now. And on my priority list is this particular series, and I don't really like to read more than one book at once, so that's another reason why those other books are still going to be left unread for quite a while, most likely. So, thank you so much for being here and listening to my little talk about my book collection and something that makes me happy. And I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you very soon.